So it weighs 30 pounds more per shingle. That's what? 1/16 of a pound. I mean, whatever it translates to. It's not a lot, okay? But they use a higher grade of asphalt, so their shingles don't need to be as heavy. Okay, allows them to expand and contract. Now, we're going to put two rows of ice and water shield down for you. Okay, instead of the felt paper, what we're going to use is what they call a synthetic underlayment. Okay, obviously technology is always coming into play when it comes to roofing and things of that nature. And what they've done is, this is basically called a synthetic felt, okay, or a synthetic underlayment as it's referred to. First of all, you can see it's a lot more durable and harder to rip or tear than this paper. Now, try tearing that. Oh! You just voided your warranty. Remember when I said earlier that the misapplication of an underlayment that causes a leak to the structure is not the fault of the manufacturer? Right. You just created a leak. Why? Because the shingle water can get under the shingles. When that wind blows and it's going into the ridge vent and into your house, it actually can go under the shingle as well. And if it's this felt paper, how much water can this take? Not a lot. That's why they developed ice and water shield, to protect against the ice damming. Well, it's the same thing with the synthetic. They came up with the synthetic. This stuff's actually water resistant. Okay, so it's far better than this. I mean, which one would you rather have in your home? If you're going to spend your money, you'd be more comfortable putting a product like this on. Oh, yeah. Now, the reason we double up the ice and water shield, simple, okay? When Michigan made ice and water shield code about 20 years ago, what they did is they said, well, you need to have this ice and water shield 18 inches past the bearing wall. In other words, if this is the wall and here's your roof, it had to travel 18 inches till it was past this wall. So you go 18 and up, there better be ice and water shield there. What they found out, okay, a couple of years after that, we ended up having a couple pile-up snowfalls. We had 5 inches, 7 inches, 10 inches. At the end of the day, we were left with 2 feet of snow, 2.5, 3 feet of snow on our roof. Well, come to find out, the more snow you get on your roof, the farther that ice dam can go. So then Michigan said, well, that 18 isn't quite enough, so we're going to make it 24. Okay, our thought process is, if I'm going to put a shingle that's going to last more than 15 years on your roof, because this one will get you 20, maybe 25, okay, if I'm going to put a shingle that's going to last you more than 15 years, I mean, how much snow are we getting in the next 15 years? Do you know?
No idea.
15 years from now, what if we get 5 foot snow? Backs up, your roof starts to leak. Ooh. Wouldn't you rather be protected by double roll? He's not here. By double rolls of ice and water shield instead of just that 3 feet?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so it makes sense, right?
Yeah.
So now, we put on 2 rolls of ice and water shield. We put our synthetic underlayment. We put our shingle down, and you've got a roof. Okay. With this one, we use a 750 vents, like I showed you. If I'm going to show ridge vent, an intake vent. This is where I'm going. These are the ones I'm showing. Here's my this is what we're going to use on our builder grade. Okay. If you see, it's got a screen in there instead of a filter. Okay, would you feel comfortable walking on that?
Yeah, compared to this, it's almost like a
corrugated cardboard, right?
a sign somebody would make with.
Okay, so this goes down, so we'd use this on your edge. And then with the ridge vent, obviously this maybe looks a little bit similar, okay, because it comes in a roll. It goes over the top, and then you take your capping and you put it over the top, so it's decorative, okay? But why this one? Well, first of all, no water can get in there. You can see this sits flat to the roof, so it doesn't allow the water to blow past and go on the roof. And in the event it were to get a little bit of water in there, if you notice those baffles that are in there, notice how they're perfectly lined up, so no water can really get past. So this goes over the top, and now you've got a great roof, and now you've got a better roofing system. Okay, that's where, you know, you probably fall around, you know, somewhere into here.
Preferred,
Yep. And see, now what am I telling them? Here's 12.5. Does this one cost more? Well, yeah. Look at the products. Of course, it costs more.
yeah. This was fucking hilarious.
Now my duration. Fuck. Okay. So now I'd show my duration. One thing it's going to have on it, it's going to show the Sure Nail technology. So you set out the brochure, you open it up, there's a spot where it shows the Sure Nail technology. First of all, this shingle, again, it's got a higher grade of asphalt, it's a little bit heavier than the Oak Ridge, so it's got more product in it. Now, with the fact that it's got the Sure Nail technology in there, like we talked before, you remember earlier when I said I'll show you down the road? Well, this is basically what this is. That's integrated right into the roofing system. You can see right there, I mean, try tearing that. Pretty hard, huh?
Or pretty easy.
Well, you went into the grain.
Yeah. Should have done
Oops.
it this way.
Right. So if you're gonna do that, then go like this.
Yeah.
Try tearing. Here, try tearing it. I actually never even had anybody try that way. That's pretty funny, though, man. So yeah, it's got the Sure Nail strip. Now, couple of things.
Does it mean that the nail can be anywhere in here?
Yes.
Doesn't have to be in unison as long as it's in the
As long as it's in the Sure Nail strip.
Okay.
And what that does, folks, is as we talked earlier, it helps eliminate this.
Yeah, if it was a bigger line too.
Okay, so now my installers don't have to be so worried about where that nail goes as long as it's in this area. Now, what else it helps is maybe when it's a little bit colder out, it keeps in that nail goes down on a normal shingle. It may fracture around the mat. Okay, you might not see it by looking at it closely, but that's actually what happens. On a hot day, that nail head might want to impregnate into the shingle because it's thicker.
And these come right on shingles.
Yep, just like this. So when it's warmer out, keeps that nail from actually impregnating into the shingle itself, which most shingles, when they put those nails in there on a hot day, it actually goes in below the line here. Okay, so you can see where that helps with the installation. Now, how else does it help? Imagine how much harder it is for a shingle to pull off of the roof or blow off of the roof with this intact into the roof. Okay, so you can see this shingle, why Owens Corning says you put this shingle on. It goes with a warranty. Okay, now, oh, there's this synthetic block. Doesn't really matter, I guess.
What is it?
It's just a different type of synthetic. Now, Owens Corning has their own ice and water shield. Okay, as you can see, it's a granulated surface. It's similar in the fact that you peel it back, and you can feel it's got a sticky membrane. Okay, with the Owens Corning, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to put 2 rows of ice and water shield. So you get 2 rows of ice and water shield. What we'll do is we'll cut this in half for you. So you can put 2 down, visual, right? Also, they're bigger, right? See these little pieces?
Yeah.
Show little and then you show big.
Yeah.
Just, again, perception.
Right.
So we're going to put down 2 rows of ice and water shield. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to put this synthetic down. Check that one out. Pull on it. Now, if you notice, it's got a much tighter weave. You see the weave on that? Okay. First of all, that one's not as strong. Okay. You got a little bit of pitch to your roof. So imagine the guy's walking on this stuff. Maybe it can rip or tear a little bit. Doesn't seal around the nail quite so well. Misapplication of an underlayment that causes a leak to the structure is not the fault of the manufacturer. Okay. This is water resistant. That's actually waterproof. Jason, if I were to tear your roof off, put down this ice and water shield, add my synthetic underlayment, I could come back 6 months later and put the shingles down. Not that I would do that,
Right.
but really what I'm looking at doing is waterproofing your home. Can I waterproof? Can I waterproof your home with these products?
No. That one possibly.
Well, it's water resistant,
Right. But not waterproof.
and this one's water soluble, where that one's waterproof. Okay? What I'm looking at doing is truly waterproofing your home. I have to ask you, you're getting ready to put a roof on. How high on your list is waterproofing?
Right there.
That's at the top. You probably never thought about it that way. But now that you know shingles only shed water, it's important to waterproof that underneath portion, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Because that's what's really protecting your home. Right now, if you had some shingles blow off and it was accompanied with a rain, you're going to leak. Same thing with these 2 products. This might buy you a day or 2, okay? But let's think about a storm. Storm blows through. Shingles blow off. Both of these are still on your roof. Or all 3 of these are still on your roof. Okay? Are you the only one in the whole neighborhood that's got issues?
No.
Everybody does, right? Because the storm just blew through. So you get on the phone, you start calling contractors. Yeah, well, I'm booked. I'll be out next week. Oh, fuck, next week? Well, if you got this, what are you thinking?
I only got a day or 2.
If you got this on there, what are you thinking?
I only got a few extra days.
Still better hurry up and get somebody out here.
Yeah.
I'm going to be out there in 3 weeks, Jason. But you got this on there.
I mean, I'd still be leery that I want it done sooner, but I know I'm waterproof.
You're proof. Waterproof. Okay? What this does, Jason, is what I'm showing you here, this gives you peace of mind. Okay? I mean, how much is a peace of mind worth?
Yeah, a lot.
It's worth a lot. It's
Yeah.
priceless,
Yeah.
isn't it? Whereas this one gives you peace of mind, these ones really don't. So, with those products, once those products are down, now we're talking about putting the shingles on. Okay? Like I mentioned, we have the Sure Nail technology. We're going to use the ridge vent. We're going to use, we're going to use the edge vent. We're going to use the ridge vent.
Dave is just in the hallway.
Dave's not here.
I'm just going to transfer that. Thank you anyway.
Dave's not here. No, man, I'm Dave. Hey, man. Did you ever hear that, Matt?
No.
The Cheech and Chong? He knocks on the door. He's like, hey, man, it's me, Dave. Dave? Yeah, man, it's me, Dave. Yeah, Dave's not here. No, I know, man, I'm Dave. Dave? Yeah. Oh, he's not here. They just go back, a couple of ions going back and forth.
Cheech and Chong were high ones?
Yeah. Word. Now we're going to put this on. First of all, when a guy installs a roof, okay, you see this is a part of this would look like a 3-tab shingle. Remember the old shingles and they look like these? That was called a 3-tab, okay? What guys would do is they take this 3-tab shingle and they flip it over so that they can have a row underneath the very first row. Okay, one of the problems with this type of process is, you see this sealant strip right here? Well, that's one of the reasons they do that is to seal the shingle down, but no matter which way I turn this, it's in the middle, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you're not going to get a real strong seal. So what Owens Corning says, if you want that beautiful warranty that I have to offer, you have to put this out all around the perimeter, not only at the bottom by the gutters, but up the peaks, okay? All around the whole perimeter of the house. Now, the reason for that is, obviously, you can see it's at the bottom, and what that does is that allows that bottom row of shingles to seal, just like the next one seals to the one before that, and then all the way up your roof. If you've ever seen a roof that's blown off, okay, because of the high winds, what ends up happening is that bottom row of shingles, because they're not sealed, actually lift up. Now the wind, instead of tearing that row off, actually blows up and like makes a channel till it works halfway up the roof, and then all of a sudden, bam, 30 shingles blow off in that area. You ever seen shingles blown off the roof? You notice how it's always up in the middle or near the top?
Yeah, we still have.
It's not because the winds hit there harder, it's because it gets under that first row of shingles and makes its way underneath the shingles till it gets to a weaker spot, or to the point where there's so much wind under there that the shingles just blow right off.
Program versus what would paper chase?
So, Owens Corning says, I want a starter strip on there. Starts off with that, and you shingle up the roof.
No brainer, change it over. Well, remember, we were just trying to eliminate the option pattern, right?
Yeah, I mean, if we don't, I'm saying if we do
Now,
it's actually less money.
one of the problems with the industry too is the capping. Okay, on a hip roof, you know, obviously you got them going down the hips. Okay, it's got to be capped, and then over the ridge, that all has to be capped. What these manufacturers do, these shingles are becoming a little more obsolete, but they keep them around for, number one, for capping and for repairs for somebody who maybe still has this type of roof on their house. Okay, but this isn't that 50-year shingle. It's just a 15-year shingle. Back when there's no rating on these. They're cheap products. They're as inexpensive as they can possibly make them. So they say, oh, well, hey, we're going to put this great roof on, and then they take the cheapest shingle they can put, and they put it over the top of your ridge. Covers over low, it's where both roofs meet. Isn't that one of the most vulnerable spots on your roof?
Yeah.
I mean, that's where all the water starts. It hits there and goes down. So they cheap out by putting that on. Owens Corning says, if you're going to put my roof on, you need to install the capping that's the same quality as the shingle itself. This has to last over time as well, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay? And that's why this is all important. So, at the end of the day, like I said, if this is, you got all these sitting here. Grab this. Does that look familiar compared to the products I'm showing you?
Yeah.
You see why there's such a difference in the products that are out there and what's available?
Oh, yeah. You know. Thanks,
Okay.
Joe.
Hey, you're welcome. Price aside, I mean, which system best fulfills your needs?
With what?
I mean, you want to protect your house, you told me.
Yeah.
You want to waterproof your house, right?
Yep.
Can I do it with these products?
No.
Can I get you 10 to 15 years out of something like this? Oh, absolutely. Is this really what you're looking for when you put your next roof on, though?
No.
Okay. So you're obviously more comfortable with something that has a warranty and
But that's
all the
one
things
I
that
was
go
able
into
to
it.
basically create my own warranty, right?
Yep,
All the expectations I wanted out of it were in that one.
absolutely.
And that's the one I want.
See, you can see what goes into putting that together to make sure that that warranty actually holds in place.
Right.
You know, we're not just promising you something on a piece of paper. We're actually backing it with top-notch quality products. you have any questions about the products,
No,
other than the price.
no, let's get down to the price.
All right, let's do it. Now, before I do that real quick, let me show you one more thing here. You can see here, the ice and water shield goes down. Then you get your starter strip at the bottom. You get the synthetic underlayment over the remainder of the roof. They put the first row of shingles down. Then they put the remaining amount of shingles down. Then obviously the ventilation has to go in place.
But why is there, so obviously that's not a shared attic space
Yeah,
then.
he had a flat tire on the Southfield freeway.
It probably is.
And he's probably.
Probably is a shared?
Hour and a half.
But then you were,
See if that's okay.
This is a newer.
I get it.
This is a newer.
I'm just telling you
Concept.
that I'm
Don't-
catching it.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. You're not going to be pitching that.
Sure.
I mean,
Obviously. that's
until
already-
until an inspector goes in there and says these attics need to be separated because you have ridge vent on it, we're going to continue to do it the way we're doing it.
Right.
I was just letting you know that it's out there. In 5 years, we're probably going to have to go in the attics and fucking start separating them. Now, we're going to come out to your house. We're going to bring a rubber wheel dumpster. Okay, not that big red crazy container, right? Scratches your driveway all up, maybe cracks it. I mean, you wouldn't want that, would you?
No.
That's why we use a rubber wheel dumpster. And then we're going to take care of your landscaping. We put tarps down all around wherever the tear off's coming down and around. We don't want nails everywhere. At the end of the day, we do take a magnet around to make sure that we get up the magnet, the nails that have fallen through.
Let me ask you this, Joe. You told me about your $2 million policy and your umbrella. Would that cover any damage to my concrete if there was anything with the trailer?
Yeah, I'm sure it would. Yeah, because liability will cover anything. It's just a matter of whether you want to, how many claims you want to make.
Yeah.
You start making a lot of claims, obviously insurance is going to go up. See here, we tear it off right down to the deck. We put our underlayments in place. And at the end of the day, what we do is we have this little cat master. Okay, basically what that does is it's just a sleeve that goes over the pipe. But that little section over the pipe, that's just a rubber grommet. Okay? I mean, rubber, when it sits in the sun, have you ever seen a car that sat in a driveway and hasn't moved for a year or two? What happens to the tires?
They dry out.
They dry out and then they flatten, right? That's because the sun beats on them and they get little cracks in there. And then once those cracks start, basically that product's breaking down. Well, can you imagine? Can you imagine putting a roof on that's going to last 50 years and not doing anything to protect that rubber ground?
Cleveland, Tennessee.
Who gives a shit?
Those things only last that 10 to 15 years. There ain't nothing you can do about that. That's how they make them. However, if I put that cat master over the top,
State, yeah.
what I'm doing is I'm actually keeping that roof from breaking down on you.
Sorry. Hey, Dave, you could check Laura and
Yeah.
do an entity search and see what's available.
Quite literally, you could actually have rocks out of interiors with no spaces, with spaces, without
Yeah.
spaces, a fucking dash. Literally, it's fucking
That's all right.
anything.
You can see here, the problem with these pipes, okay, you may go outside and look and that pipe should come right down through the kitchen, but it
It still
doesn't.
goes to that other.
Because
side.
what happens is it goes over and it goes to a wall
Well, we don't have.
and it connects to the rest of your plumbing.
as far as-
When those start leaking,
I thought it was supposed to go to
they'll
the
leak,
exterior,
they'll leak,
so
they'll leak, they'll
go to our
leak,
main site.
okay? You'll walk around the house and you go,
What goes to?
man, I smell something musty. You smell something musty? Yeah, I smell something musty. What is that? I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah, it goes to that side because I had
Okay.
to turn it off.
Next thing you know, you got grandma's clock on the wall.
Without fucking changing it back.
And that
I
drywall
was working on it.
just is much.
Gotcha. Yeah, because it should go.
Now
to
grandma's
exterior
clock
paint,
falls,
'cause he's-
and you go, what
maybe
the hell
he's putting,
happened?
like, services,
And you touch the
a
drywall and
separate
your
interior
finger
paint
goes right through it.
Under services and then just.
Right,
It's
there's
all
a way- there's a way to
mold,
do it.
mildew,
Direct, but
maybe the
way to do it
structure
last time,
itself
one
is
for one, source.
affected by it, the integrity of the structure, from all that water that's been leaking down there for all those years.
So.
Okay, so it's very scary. Usually the ones I found in my days have always been in a closet, somebody's closet. And they start smelling the musty, and they pull all their shoes out, and they look at the bottom, and they see the mold already starting to grow.
Working 7 hours a day.
That's certainly not anything you would want, would you?
Then you guys got 30.
And I mean, if you're gonna put a roof on that last, it only makes sense to add that.
7 hours a day
Correct.
for 4 days.
You know, it's not anything, any one thing that we do. It's all the little things, paying attention to the details. Using a better nail, using a better underrated, using better shingles, using things like the Cat Master.
12 days.
And when you put all that together, that's why you can get a warranty that stood behind.
That'll get us 38.
So, no questions?
Nope, it's not up to
Other than price. I'll price it out for you.
And we're promising them almost 40 hours a week. We're not even close to that.
Ta-da.
Yeah, I don't know, it's been like that since I've been.
It's just a matter of spitting this shit out, man.
Or we can do a hell of a lot. We can run
Um,
9 to 8 on
but-
Saturdays.
You can see how taking the homeowner down the road, you know,
Make up the hour.
why we sell on the first day. We'll get into the
That's why
close, and
she brought
that'll,
it to my attention.
you'll
She
be
said,
like,
"Yeah,
oh,
I'm
fuck.
like,
Building it all up.
You're building it all up,
And then I broke it down. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, that doesn't.
you know. So at the end of the day, which roof would you feel more comfortable with?
Nobody else has really.
Okay, I mean, and
So
price
he's gonna
aside,
need
I
what?
mean, that
Almost
fulfills your needs, right?
405, I mean, that's.
So now you told me you need it? You like my warranty? Or you know, you told me you need it, you like my company, you like my warranty,
See,
and
yeah,
you like my
Up
product.
and running now?
There's only
I'm
one
actually
thing
supposed
left,
to sit there with him and let him go through some of the calls and then.
just the price.
go ahead and get him started. I do want
If I don't ask these questions,
phone, at least
okay?
sit there for a half.
Well, you know, dude, I gotta research your company, I don't know anything about you, and I gotta, you closing that?
Make sure he knows the products that we got.
Probably
Not
not.
signs that we're-
Exactly.
No,
and-
you're not.
and then-
Scott
You've got an
told me
open-ended
about minimum-
question
Scott
that
told
you
me
haven't
about
answered.
stuff.
Yeah, we haven't gone.
Where did you miss it?
So,
In
but
the
I,
company
but I
story,
told him, because I was hearing him,
okay?
and I'm like.
Well, I don't need it, I'm gonna wait a couple of years.
Minimums.
Where'd you miss
So
it?
They're not there for failure.
Very beginning in the need,
Yeah, I gave him a copy. of
you
it.
know? Well, I gotta see what other kind of warranties and stuff are out there, where'd you miss it?
Okay.
Now that you got a copy, you might as well run everybody one.
Didn't believe you.
And just a reminder of what that is,
Right.
minimums and stuff. And then the product.
Well, you know, I know there's a lot of products out there, and I gotta do research on the products.
Exactly. So, but I was like, no, I hear you.
You fucking didn't get them,
We were on 911 record when they called.
okay? That's why those questions at the end,
That we were just misleading.
you know, are locking them down, it's a commitment. They're
Sounds good.
committing to your product. And if you notice, when I've asked you some of those questions, you're giving me strong commitments as to which way you're gonna go. Okay, the Guzi.
That's the email you just got.
Oh, okay. Whose was this, do you know?
Anthony's.
Dang it.
Was it a cancel?
Part of the business, man. If you're not getting cancels, you're not pushing hard enough. Now, with that being said, you don't want to be a fucking bulldozer either. You don't want to be a bull in a china shop.
Right.
You know, where you're just pushing people. You know, because you can push too hard and get people to sign. And a big guy like you could be a little bit intimidating if you're really kind of pushing somebody. You know, but even anybody. You know, hey man, you don't you want to save money? You want to save money, don't you?
Yeah,
Are you kidding me? Are you gonna? So you're gonna pass up this $5,000 that I'm showing you? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Oh well, you know. And then some guys will do a rescission clause, which I never recommend in a million years. A rescission clause is like a prenuptial agreement. You're signing the divorce papers before you can get married.
Yeah.
You know, folks, just so you know, the state of Michigan allows you a 3-day right to cancel. You know, if for some reason, you know, you decide you're going to cancel, you know, you can go ahead. But at least tonight, if you sign, you'll save that money that I'm offering you.
Right. All that is you're just you're holding.
You're setting them up to cancel. Me, I'm more the guy. You know, hey, this is our 3-day right to rescind. You know, the state of Michigan says you have 3 days. It's right on the contract. And when I go over it with them, I mean, we got a good solid deal here, right? You're not planning on canceling, are you?
Right.
I mean, because if you don't want to do this, I'd rather not even write this up.
Yeah, the last dealership I was at, we had 5-day return policy on a used car purchase. So I mean, we've never gotten our return ever.
Throws back
You know, you
on
always
to-
have every rebuttal of why, you know,
Yeah.
what do you mean, we'll take care of this, or, you know.
No, fuck
Yeah.
not, bitch.
Yeah, well, but the 3 day, and like I said, some guys will do it, some guys do it out of desperation. I never want to cancel. I mean, they happen enough as it is. So the last thing I really want to deal with is a cancel. So I mean, I try to do everything to avoid that at all possible. Was I talking to you about writing the stuff on the inside of the envelope on clothes?
Yeah.
Okay. Does it work? I don't know. No fucking idea if it
Well,
works.
the first things they see though when they open it
But
up.
yeah, I guarantee it probably saved a couple. Because they open it up and they go, oh yeah, fuck, I forgot about all that shit. You know, all they're thinking about, long after I'm gone, folks, all you're going to think about is the amount. You're not going to look at all this stuff. And then another guy's going to come in,